Browntown.
Dogs of Browntown.
Dogs of Browntown.
Berchemesh.
Hey, I'm gonna be Saul today.
Yeah, you should be so.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Dogs of Browntown. Right here we have, go ahead, count us in.
Panj. Chahar. Se. Do.
Yekshimesh.
Yekshemesh.
Is that a countdown?
That's a countdown.
What language is that? Farsi?
Farsi, and then the last one, Yekshemesh, is I think something Borat used to say. that we added.
Farsi, farce. It's the word farce, isn't
Yep,
it? So it's
yep.
like a fake language.
Yeah, it's that's something racist Europeans used to say, and I'm glad to see that it is being perpetuated by my best friend.
Is that true?
Is that true?
Probably, I don't know.
Oh,
I went to Berkeley,
great.
so I can make up bullshit
mean,
like that whenever
Europeans,
I...
they got...
They
they
probably
got,
did, yeah.
Yeah.
Have a
Probably.
track record.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any connection between Farsi and the word farce.
Speaking of Europeans, we have our very own European here. Are you? You're European, right? European?
Yeah. Danish, Irish,
Danish.
and then the other 10%. I think, sadly, there's some English in there. But,
That's cool.
yeah, it's all European.
You ever been to Ireland?
No, I'd like to go, though. I mean, I quit drinking, so that kind of sucks, because I feel like the move is you go to different pubs around the country.
Nah, you just remember it more now.
Yeah, but it's like,
I
it's
think
going to
that
be
too.
hard
I don't
to...
drink either, and I go, oh, but if I went to Italy, I'd love to have a glass of wine with pasta. But
Yeah.
it's not going to stop there.
No, of
That's
course
the
not.
souvenir that comes home with you.
Why would it stop?
Every souvenir comes.
Like if you have one drink, one wine glass, you're gonna have to keep drinking.
Yeah, probably.
Not have to, but you would be in the
You
mode.
want to.
Well, what would happen is if you were like, I'm going to have one glass of wine in Italy, you'd have that glass of wine, and then you go, well, I'm still on vacation. Why don't I just drink while I'm on vacation?
I'm at the
And
airport
then,
now.
Yeah, and then you're at the airport, and then you've built up momentum.
Honey,
and
remember
if,
that wine
you know,
we had in Italy? Let's go buy a bottle tonight to remember our Italy trip.
Yeah, you start.
Then I'm beating my kids.
Yeah, 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, you're just back on Miller Lights.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're just gonna get back to Miller
Yeah, I
Lights.
can't afford the wine now. I want to get drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here we are.
There's a part of my body that is just trying to crawl back to Miller Lights, trying to find a way back there. But
you-
honestly, no,
you
I don't
miss
get a lot
it.
of.
You miss
No,
it.
I actually don't. With quitting drinking, I think quitting things, you can quit something easier if you find yourself in a downturn where you don't really want to do it and you don't feel the cravings, and if you take advantage of that moment, then you can ride it out to sobriety. But
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I quit when I had a real bad day, and then I was like, "This is it. I can't keep doing this."
Like
to
I
myself.
smoke weed.
Yeah.
And the only time I stop is when I go with Angie and her family to the Philippines. And
Right.
it's pretty easy to stop for a few weeks when you're doing hella fun shit in a tropical paradise.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, so it's like if I was gonna like quit heroin, going to like Hawaii to a rehab in Hawaii
Yes.
would probably be the best way to do it because
Yes,
at
but
least you're like swimming in the
Heroin is physically addictive.
Yeah, that's true. So,
So
you're
it's
still, but it would
different.
still be more fun to be in Hawaii dealing with
Having
the
the
withdrawals.
shakes in
honestly,
Hawaii.
I think I don't know. You would
it's
just.
still probably better.
I think you would resent Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like it might just ruin the Hawaii
But
trip.
why do all the people go to Malibu and all these nice places for their rehabs?
Well, just because it is nice.
It's an
Yeah,
extra
but yeah, it's
like
better.
layer of comfort.
Yeah.
And it also makes you feel, those people don't want to feel like drug addicts. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because
that's
they're like
true.
from rich families and they're
That's
like, you're not
true.
fucking gross.
No,
you're not
going
going
to Malibu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
brother had to go to a place in Van Nuys and it was not chill. You know,
Yeah.
but that's good.
Yeah.
You should do that
Yeah.
because you should be like,
It shouldn't be a vacation.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, not like you should be punished,
Yeah, that's
but it's
true.
like, it also is weird when it becomes a vacation.
It is weird to like send your kid to a vacation rehab because it's like you're really not teaching them any lessons that way either. You're
No.
like you should send them to Van Nuys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
because when my brother went, it's like it was also dudes getting out of jail. So it's
Yeah.
like you also get that where there's some guy being like, you showered today? And you're like, what the fuck is going on?
So it's like drug addicts and black guys.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually the name of the rehab, drug addicts.
Drug
and black
addicts,
guys.
black
yeah.
guys.
I mean, just fucking, that's what you get with Biden.
That's
they
a new-
opened up
yeah,
50,000
yeah,
of them.
you're right.
Sister.
Yeah, they opened up. Yeah, they opened up 1,000 in every state of called
yeah.
drug
Dude,
addicts and black
How
guys.
hard did Kamala fucking kill him in that?
I didn't
in
watch
that
it,
debate?
but I was hoping that it would be
I
at least
thought he was
play the
doing
game
great.
of
I thought he was doing really good. He wasn't interrupting as much, and he came across as like more of a reasonable guy. And then she goaded him with people leave his rallies. They're like, people are leaving his rallies early. And then he
damn.
just went red and was just so upset and had to, and was just like, we have the most people at the rallies, and it's,
Yeah.
you don't have anybody at your rallies. And then he started talking about eating, and people telling me that they're eating dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went
And he
full
lost his mind. Like
tinfoil
and I
hat.
was like, wow, like. She fucking played a mind trick on him. Of course they don't leave his rally. That's like, to those people, that's like the fucking greatest time of their life. They're at a Grateful Dead concert. It just keeps going and going, and they're
Yeah.
partying and
He's jamming up
drinking.
there.
He's jamming up
Yeah.
there. They're not leaving
I think
early.
you guys are thinking of Bob Marley.
Yeah.
He was jamming.
Yeah, that is the annoying part about like where it's just like Democrats are doing Trump stuff now, where they're just like playing popular. Like, well, people leave your rallies. You're like, don't fuck, goddamn
but
it.
she got
But
him,
she
though.
did get. I didn't see the end. I heard the end is when he kind of went off the rails. I mean,
See,
I,
I
feel like watching-
wanted them to. I wanted somebody to match that level of energy, like just the shit talk. I was like, she should hire a comic to write roasts. Okay,
Hey,
this is a
Babush.
party.
That's
And
Jackie.
but yeah, I don't know. And then I saw these clips of like old debates where everyone's like respectful and like Gore like apologized for getting some fact wrong, like, and then it was
The
just like you're
best.
fat,
Yeah, now apologizing, you lose. Like, it's crazy.
You're weak. Why would you apologize?
I remember.
The best debate moment, I think, is when Ronald Reagan was running for his second run, and he'd had a debate before. But like, and he'd seemed old and out of it, and he was dealing with Alzheimer's, so he was
Right.
like legit out of it.
Yeah.
And then so everybody was like, "Is he too old to run? Is he too old to run?" And then the guy asked him a question about whether or not he's too old to run, and Reagan's response was, "I'm not going to let age be an issue in this presidential campaign. I'm not going to make an issue out of my opponent's lack of experience and youth."
Oh.
And the room just erupted in laughter. Mondale, the other guy, starts laughing too.
Yeah.
And he even says later in an interview, he's like, "At that moment, I knew I'd already lost the election." He's like that. It's like the one thing I had on him is he's too old.
Yeah.
And he fucking smooth as fuck transitions into a diss on
Yeah.
me for being young.
He
and
Uno reversed him.
Uno reverse right to the face,
I
dude.
mean, in speech and debate, I remember we would have like a debate in high school. We would have a debate show where we would get all the school into the auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend did a debate about peeing in the shower, and I was pro, he was anti.
a great debate.
And then I just flipped the debate to where I was like, I'm not pro peeing in the shower. I'm pro the right to pee in the shower. He's trying to take away your right. We live in America, which is a land of values.
Dude, I love
and
that.
it was just
I love
like,
that
I mean, yeah, you
And
win
of
based
course-
on that. It's like,
I love
what do you
that
say to
direction.
that?
Yeah.
But that's all I would do in debate because I just realized I would do Trump before he was running because I just realized doing Trump is like how you win debates where you're like, shut up, you fucking loser. And the crowd knows you're wrong, but they like it.
Yeah.
And then I saw Trump do it and I was like, oh, of course he's going to win. He's hot dogging.
But in speech and debate, there's also points that you get as individuals for being polite to one another.
Yeah, but
and
this
I used to
was-
lose all the points on
yeah.
that.
Damn.
Yeah.
They were like, they would always
You,
say,
I've seen you argue though. You're so tactful.
It's hard to be polite the whole time.
Yeah.
Especially
God, I
if you're
wish I would have
debating.
done debate.
It was
It's
fun.
so fun.
Instead, I would just
fun.
yell at my mom. You know.
It's so fun. It's literally just a class where you just fuck around. Me and my friend would just get high every morning and then go into debate and be like, who wants beef? Like, you just go in.
Yeah. This
I
is
remember-
a sting
I remember
operation.
we
We're
had
here
to-
actually to get you for getting high and just fucking around in your debate class.
I'm just looking for other debate
We had to do
classes
the
in
whole
life.
year. The debate was team debates, and the whole year the debate was how we dispose of Soviet Union's excess nuclear weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
And the like, Eastern Bloc's nuclear weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, do we dispose of them by like dismantling them and putting them into the ground? Like, you have to do something with them now that they've been. And it was like,
You send them to Iran.
yeah,
That's how you get rid of them.
yeah, dog. So you actually saw my debate. That's pretty good. But damn, that shit was so fun. But I remember I was very much a bully. I remember I very much like if somebody said something dumb, I would repeat that shit and remind them about dumb.
Wow.
I was like,
You were a
I would win.
Hasbulla.
I would win. They would
Yeah.
fall apart. Kids would just fall apart.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you just like act like an asshole, people. I remember in this one like AP government class, I think it was that at the end of the year they were like, we're gonna end with a debate. So you pick a topic and then you'll debate another team. So I was like a senior in a class of sophomores, so I got these boys together and I was like, we are gonna advocate that Christopher Columbus was a good guy.
Oh shit.
Because nobody wants that because
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
bad point and
Yeah.
nobody will really work hard on arguing it because it's an obviously bad point.
Yeah.
And then we just went in and we were like, listen, he opened up the greatest trade route of all time, the most like money, like the transit. Like I talked about like the Dutch East India Company, which is one of the most evil companies of all time. But I was like, the biggest business of all time, the world we live in, globalization, it's all from him. And of course, the bad stuff. And then the other side was like, what are you talking about? But they were talking about like good moral virtues, but those don't win debates. If you're like, well, he was he like practically started a genocide. If you're like, yeah, but what about all the stuff you have? And it's like, we won. The whole class was like, yeah, Columbus Day should be a day. And I felt bad. It made me sad that it's like a group of kids voted upon it.
That's fun to have a group of kids vote on who wins,
it's
too.
so funny.
Because in speech and debate, it was always like 3 adult or 1 adult judge. And there was like criterion of like, you had to define your terms. So if you were saying, is Christopher Columbus bad?
Yeah.
You would have to go up there and define what bad is.
Which
and
is
you'd have to
a way-
define what morals are.
That's how you can immediately lie. I'd be like, what is bad? You know, like,
It depends what your definition of the word is.
Of the word is. But that is speech and debate. Is define every term, and if you say something that hasn't been defined, the other team can say that hasn't been defined. And then the other team has to define specifically what it is, and then you know how to argue back against it. Because if you don't define every term, then you can say ambiguous stuff.
Oh, it's so fun. I wish I did that. Man, I wish I didn't drop out of high school. This is the one thing that's making me wish.
Stop somebody like Trump from saying like whatever wild shit and then just winning because you can't, like if you have to define your terms and be specific, you have to actually say something.
Yeah. But either way, it's like if you're the Trump, you're a fucking asshole. And then if you're the guy that's like, well, what is you're an asshole? Like speech and debate just teaches you to be like a little cunty bitch. You know what I mean? Just like, well, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like I would only do speech in the actual tournaments, and I would just do stand up. And if you know speech and debate in the tournaments, you're not like in front of a group of people. You're in a classroom with the 6 other kids you're competing against, and then like
a judge.
1 judge usually, sometimes 3, but just
Judge
like
Ito from the OJ trials?
Usually, yeah.
Okay, cool.
He has a lot of free time now. He lays down the law. I mean, well, sometimes when he wants to.
Yeah.
But like I would go up and do stand up, and then
people would volunteer to just come judge that shit.
Yeah.
Really?
That's why it was sick, because I would get parents that didn't know any of the rules, and I would go up and just do my thing, and they'd be like, that was fun.
Damn.
And I would get like a good score, and then I'd get somebody that knew the scoring for speech, and they'd be like, that was awful. And I would like do terrible.
Damn.
I got in trouble for being racist in the speech part because I did the life and death of a 7-Eleven salesman.
I have a dream speech? Is that why you were in blackface?
No. I mean, what I actually did is racist.
Okay, what did you do? Yeah, sorry to cut you off for the joke.
I played the life and death of a 7-Eleven salesman, and I did an Indian accent, and I just was like. And then one of the and I scored really high on it because I killed. It crushed in the room.
Wait, so
but one lady was like very racist, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I said to her, I was like, if being Indian is a crime, then book me right now.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So when she called you racist, you responded in accent.
Yeah, I said I'm Indian. I said just pretended to be Indian.
Somebody's like, you're a fucking racist. She's like, bombakla racist.
Oh, you call me racist, man. If I'm racist, then Colin Hanks is racist.
Better. This thing was bothering me.
Was it supposed to be like kind of serious though about like how his life is tough?
No, it was a joke. It was like
you were just fucking around.
The guy tries to rob him. He got shot, and you think he's dead, and then he wakes up and he's like, "Bulletproof vest, you saved me again." And then this kid who he kicked out earlier, who was trying to look at the porno mags, comes back in and shoots him, and he doesn't have his vest on this time, and he dies.
Wow.
I mean,
so it's the movie Crash?
Yeah.
It was Crash.
You didn't before Crash, though.
Yeah. You guys go deep.
Stole my idea.
Yeah. You guys go deep, I go sun deep.
And then the other time, the other year that I did speech was I didn't have anything planned, so I just brought my basketball cards in and my Maxim magazine that I just bought.
Oh my God.
Nice.
And I go, this was my first line of my presentation was, when I was trying to come up with a topic for my presentation, I started thinking, has anybody here ever wondered how electricity works? Me neither. That's why I brought my favorite 2 things, basketball cards and women. And then I started showing my basketball cards. I was, these are my Jordans, these are my Magics, these are my Birds.
Yeah.
Now they're the good stuff. And I pull out my Maxim magazine, I'm like showing pictures of like Jennifer Love Hewitt in like lingerie and shit. And I'm reading quotes from her where she's like, I used to not like my body, but now I love my butt. And I go, I think we all do. And I'm like showing the class.
Yeah.
And then I got bad scores, obviously.
I mean, yeah, fully
But then-
not a speech.
Like, not at all.
Yeah, so-
And then
so-
one teacher was like, borders on softcore porn.
Sick.
Wow.
And then my teacher was like, I need you to come in and do your presentation. This was an easy A. That's the only reason I signed up for this. And this is my
Right.
senior year. And I'm in this class. And I'm only doing it for an easy A. And I've already gotten into Berkeley. And so you have to maintain a 3.0 unweighted GPA to keep
You
your
say
acceptance.
GPA right now?
No.
You can go all the way down to 3 for Berkeley
If you're already in,
if you're already in. Yeah.
to not lose being in, you
Yeah.
have to maintain your senior year in high school when everybody fucks off, a 3.0 unweighted.
Can you imagine losing the in just because you wanted to
So-
have fun senior year?
That would have been
nobody
that would have
does
been
I've
me.
Never heard of any, I've never heard of anybody
Right.
do
I mean,
that.
that's like.
But I'm
bet I
in this
could've.
class that's an easy A, and now my teacher from that class sees his presentation bordered on softcore porn.
Right.
She hits me up and says, I want you to come do the presentation for me, and I'm going to decide. And I'm like, this went from an easy A to like, I might get a bad grade in this shitty elective,
Yeah.
and it might affect my weighted score.
You don't go to Berkeley.
And I don't go to Berkeley because of that.
Yeah.
So I go to my counselor, who is legitimately missing a chromosome, like dumb as fuck, like
Okay.
really, really dumb.
Yeah.
Can't believe she was counseling people on how to get into
I
college.
had one of
and
those
shit.
counselors. Like, yeah.
So dumb. Guy Car was her name.
Do you think
Miss
she was
Guy
smart enough to call it a chromosome, not a chromosome like you just did, though?
Yeah.
How dumb was she?
Damn.
Cut that out.
No, it has
Edit
to
it
stay
back
in.
in.
It has to stay
but,
in.
this is my second language. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
That's always my
Damn, you're like Trump. You got aces in the pot. Yeah. You
Yeah,
got
you're a
pot.
sick individual, dude.
I actually came here 2
But
years ago. So
she was really dumb, but I took advantage of that. So I went up to her after my teacher was like, I want to see this presentation. She was all mad at me. I went up to my counselor and I said, hey, remember when I dropped speech and debate? Because it already had passed. Like the deadline for dropping classes and stuff had passed. I was like, remember when I dropped speech and debate? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but on my transcript it showed that I still was in the class.
Oh
like,
my god.
I don't know. I haven't been going to that class. I don't want to be graded for badly my senior year. And she's like, oh, let me. She's like, I guess I forgot to put it in, and she just dropped me from it.
Wow.
like late.
You're the
and I
devil,
just never
dude.
had to go back to that class.
yeah, that's a counselor that's been so beaten down. I think the first 2 years she had that chromosome and was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know about that. And then eventually she's like, sure, why
was-
not?
It was this counselor who was so dumb that my buddy Sepp lied about community service hours with. Like, he
Right.
started a club called Competitive College Club, and he said that he did hundreds of hours of community service building this club for the school,
Yeah.
and she signed off on it. I remember hearing about that and being like, oh, so you can just lie about that shit? And then I lied about doing 408 community service hours, and that's really how I got into Berkeley. Was,
Is
Yeah.
it true that
was
she
my-
once said to you, get in the zone, chromosome?
It is true.
Okay, cool.
But she
Thank you.
doesn't remember.
Okay, yeah, she doesn't remember. Do you remember when you said that? Yeah.
The clinic that's way
think
too
it's-
excited. I know you're going to help my son, but chill out. You guys have a Guy Fieri thing about this Down syndrome.
So what is the difference between speech? What is speech? I know debate.
Speech is like doing stand-up, and
So
debate
you're
is
just
like
writing
two
a
people.
speech. So do you pick a topic
or
and you
two
do
on
a
two.
speech on it?
It's
Or?
usually supposed to be personal. There was like a joke or a trope in speech and debate that all speech was either about like getting sexually assaulted or like something inspiring. But it was like one of the two. It was almost like patent that's all you would see is like the saddest story you've ever heard or like a faux inspired. Because
So it's like The Moth.
I haven't seen that movie.
No, like the
it's-
place where people tell poetry and
It's
spoken
like a
word. and stuff.
storytelling content. That was very funny.
It's where
Oh, okay.
Hassan Minaj like developed
Oh, okay.
that style of doing stand-up and stuff. I feel
Oh,
like
okay.
with the
Yeah,
pictures
it's
in the
like,
back.
this was the day I found out my
Yeah.
mom was not my mom.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just built different, so I wasn't really like that.
That's-
But no,
yeah.
I started stand up, and so I would then use it to just do stand up. And that was fun because when we'd have the speech and debate shows, I would do stand up in an auditorium in front
Fuck
of my
yeah.
high school. So like I got to do stand up in front of like 300 people.
God, that's terrifying.
That's great.
But it like somehow didn't like it went well, and so
Yeah.
it didn't like because it looking back, it's like wow, that could have like ruined high school for me. Like
Yeah.
if you bomb in front of your high school, but I remember I said cunt in one of my jokes.
Wow.
And then one of the teachers obviously was like, asked my speech and debate teacher, like, hey, in the next show, can he not say cunt? Like, that's kind of
Wow,
a
that's
lot.
all that happened?
Well, but then, yeah, he was like, can he not do? And then but then I had just started comedy, so I was like, fucking Lenny Bruce.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
said it anyway. But once again, it's high school, so there's
It's
no
high
repercussions for anything.
No, but I would think the repercussion would be a bad score or a bad grade.
Well, no, there was no score. It was just the show. I don't know if you had this in high school, but we would have a show that was purely to showcase the speech and debate department.
No.
So we would do fun debates like the peeing in the shower, and then we would do like a speech. And it was more so fun, approachable topics, but showing the
That's a great
mechanisms.
idea. We didn't do that.
Yeah,
But that's
we had a lot
I
of
think
fun
that's
stuff.
really cool.
We had a fashion show at my high school.
What school is this? What high school is this?
Taft Charter High School.
That's somewhere in LA, yeah?
Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Lisa Kudrow,
Really?
notable alumni.
Oh,
Really?
John Lovitz.
NWA
They're not
movie.
from Compton?
Well, they were bussed in.
Didn't John Lovitz go there?
Maybe.
I think so.
I bet he
yeah.
could have.
Cool.
A lot of good alumni.
Yeah, the best alumni.
They call it the Wharton
I remember
School
one
of Finance
time
of high schools.
Our friend Timmy, who was like the football star.
Timmy, that one.
I thought that
He was
immediately.
This big Nigerian
That's why I
dude
did
named
it.
Timmy Tope. Great guy, genius too. One of the smartest people I've ever met.
He invented the toupee.
Yeah.
He's this huge yoked Nigerian dude who was like the star running back, had crazy numbers, and he went to MIT, 1600 SAT.
Did he go because
perfect
it's
GPA?
Tim spelled backwards? He's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll let you get
And,
through one story. Sorry.
And he did speech and debate like one tournament with my best friend. And they won, and part of the way he won was he would just roll up his sleeves and just scare the shit out of the other team's
That's
like
so
people. Like he'd be like, and they wouldn't want to like be aggressive or rude or say anything he said was wrong at all. And they won. They just destroyed the other teams just out of pure intimidation.
I was listening. I just want the audience watching. And I was looking up if John Lovitz went to Taft. I didn't find it because I got insecure, and now I'm back here with you guys.
You can keep looking. I knew you were doing something important. I saw you on your phone, and I was like, he's not on Instagram. He's not gramming right now. But yeah, speech and
Goddamn
debate
right.
does rule.
That's awesome. No, I feel like, I missed out on a lot of stuff by leaving high school. I wasn't mentally in a place to be able to do that stuff at that age, but like now that I look back, I'm like, maybe if I had the right teacher or whatever, or my home situation, whatever, everything was different in my life, maybe I could have,
Well, yeah, that's what sucks. Is something like speech and debate is such an approachable, fun thing for any high schooler, because you can just tell a high schooler, like,
Not
do you
every
wanna,
high school has it.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like, do you want to talk shit? And it's
Yeah.
also like, it's kind of fun because it was like a class before all the other classes, so it's kind of like you start your day earlier, which I guess to a lot of kids obviously seems way
Ours
worse.
was after school.
Yeah, but it was fun. Me and my friend would meet up in the morning. We would smoke 2 spliffs, and then he was like kind of the leader of the class. And then we would go in, and I remember just like being high, debating 21 Pilots against a girl it was her favorite band.
This is crazy too, because you're young and it's like all the references you're bringing up. I'm like, that happened when I was 30,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's kind of tight. I'm like,
Yeah,
I would
21
love to debate
Pilots,
21
yeah.
Pilots.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like everybody has shit to talk. I think that the problem is it's like
There's only
stuff is
2 members.
Here's the problem, though.
It's bullshit.
It's
That's
so
some
fun.
bullshit, dude.
So debate and all that, but then you also have to go to
shit.
math.
Hold on. 21 pilots. There's 2 members.
Yeah.
Where are the other 19 pilots? 9/11.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 buildings.
Yeah.
9/11, dude.
2 buildings,
The other
2 members.
So it's the 19 hijackers on 9/11 and the 2 members of 21 pilots.
Was there 19
There's 19
hijackers?
hijackers, yeah. Fuck.
That's why they did that.
Is that really?
No, but I hope so.
Maybe. I
mean,
hope
it would
so.
be crazy for a band like that that's just very commercial and nice to be
Yeah.
slipping in like a weirdly.
a
Maybe
We
they didn't mean to
are
be
terrorists.
commercial. Maybe
Yeah,
they
like
started
Rebel.
out anarchist punks, and then the music industry said, "Hey, come fucking suck our dicks, and we'll give you all the money in the world."
It's also
Yeah.
funny to just be like, yeah, the guys that did 9/11 and us.
And us, yeah.
And
Yeah.
us. And I
Maybe
was
they're
actually-
saying if we were on the plane that day, they wouldn't have gotten, they wouldn't have been able to take it. Or-
They just needed 2 more pilots.
I was saying that last night on stage. If I because I was saying I'm the kind of white guy that I shoot myself, not other people.
Hilarious.
But if I was the
Not
kind of white
hilarious,
guy
not that part.
to like shoot other people and do a mass shooting, I would totally do it in the name of a terrorist organization because it's just so much funny and it's cooler. Because if a skinny white guy like me shoots up a mall, they're like that fucking bitch. But then they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's a jihadist, like now you're technically in the
I
ranks
say
of
you
like
go Mormon or
Osama.
something that people don't even know has.
Do it in the name of
extremists.
Mormonism.
Yeah.
No, it'd be. I think if you were Muslim Brotherhood,
Yeah.
if that's what you claimed,
Yeah.
that'd be really funny.
Yeah, just to claim something. I just like, why even do it yourself? Just do it in the name of NASCAR, you know?
That's yeah.
Say you did it for the Idaho legislature.
The Confederacy will stand again.
yeah.
No, not that one.
Do it for Hillary Clinton.
Do it
that'd be a
with
good
an
one.
"I have a dream"
No,
shirt on.
Biden.
Yeah.
Biden. If like nobody's riding for Biden, he got the
Riding
he got the
for
election
Biden, that's my
stolen
new
from
ride
him.
share.
He won the
Yeah.
primary, and then he got bullied out of keeping it, and
Yeah.
now a woman who got 0 primary votes ever is the nominee, and she's probably gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doing it in the name of Biden would be sick.
that would be
People
fun.
be like,
Killing
I
in
didn't
the
know-
name of.
I voted for
Joe.
Biden, and he's not the nominee. What?
Yeah.
She doesn't have the experience.
I mean, that was one of the sneakiest little sneaks ever.
that was crazy.
Did you guys ever
Yeah.
watch Veep?
Yeah,
I
love
lived it.
That's interesting.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I've heard it's very good.
I didn't watch it forever. I started watching it with my
It's great.
girlfriend, and I was like, "It's such a comedy," but you go, "I bet this is pretty close to some of the truth
Yeah.
that
Well,
happens."
Isn't Veep based off a specific administration? Where isn't it like? Isn't she supposed to be like Condoleezza Rice or somebody? Like,
Oh, I don't know.
I
It would
heard
make
like
sense.
the plot line in Veep is like almost very obviously like
Condoleezza
the
sorry.
Clinton or the Bush administration. Somebody was telling me that. I kinda
Condoleezza
forget.
Rice is Kamala's favorite dish.
She makes it every night. She makes it every night.
I'm kidding. Satirical. That's what Saul always says when
Yeah.
he says a bad thing.
Yeah, she said when I grew up in Black India, we'd make Condoleezza Rice every single
Blindia,
day.
they call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Wow.
That's true. That's what a lot of people are talking about.
I was always Mumbaiing all the gold and
I feel like I'm coming off as a Republican. I just have a shaved head.
nah.
Yeah.
Nah,
I
you're
do
like
need
a-
to mention that.
You're like a young Leonardo DiCaprio.
It is weird seeing the Democrats and Republicans switch places. You know, like everybody's like, "Oh my God, Dick Cheney is supporting Kamala Harris now."
What
It's
the
like,
fuck is
yeah.
up with that?
Well, it's
Really?
beca-
I
well, it's
didn't even
because
know
Dick
that. I'm
Cheney
so
is-
out of the loop.
Dick Cheney supports war.
Yeah, yeah.
The Democrats support war with Ukraine and all that, and Dick
Yeah.
Cheney's like, "Yeah, I'm with the war guys."
The
Yeah.
group that sings Lowrider?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I support them too.
It is weird how much power they've gained since releasing Lowrider.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
when you get the Latino vote,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, because once they released Lowrider, they merged with this burgeoning neoconservative movement,
Oh.
which eventually infiltrated the
Project
White
for a
House.
New American Century.
Yeah, and like,
Huh.
you know, all those guys that were in like Bush's cabinet and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
like they were,
Wolfowitz, Rumsfeld.
yeah, they were taking notes from war
Yeah.
and pretty much writing the policy that was enacted.
Oh my
But
god.
they kept it under the radar, much
Yeah.
like a lowrider.
Yeah.
And war backwards is Raw, which was WWF. Raw is war, and Hulk Hogan is endorsing Trump,
Dude, I never thought
proving
about
that
it
it's
that
just
way.
a one-party system parading as a two-party system.
I mean,
and
it
they're
is
all
it is a two-party system, both of which are corporate parties that you know. It's
yeah,
like
and
as long
neither
as
of
the
them have
corporations
Nas
are
tanks
fine,
at the party.
Yeah.
we can talk about the other stuff. So one party's for abortion and one party's against abortion because corporations don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
More babies,
They'll
more
do pretty-
money for the corporations.
Yeah, they'll do all the same.
Yeah, but they don't
stuff.
really care about
Yeah.
about abortions. So you can have that fight. But it's like healthcare. You want single payer. It's like no, the corporate medical system that's making a shit ton of money. They don't want out of
Do
that.
you think
system.
they'd be for we do like
So
a
we don't have to have
boxing
that.
boxing tournament abortions? You get two pregnant women, they have to fight it out.
Yeah, that's mutual
Yeah.
abortion.
Only body shots.
You
No,
could
like
get the
sumo
right wing.
competitions where they
I
just
feel-
smash into each other.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, I
the
don't know
right
what
wing
I'm
could get on board with that. They'd call it like biblical abortions. They'd be
Yeah.
like, if you really want to do it, you should have to understand the pain that goes into it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be easy because they already want them to like have to go to like a really mean hour-long therapy session.
Yeah.
Right,
Where
and,
it's
and you have to in a lot of places you have to get a sonogram. You have to talk
Yeah.
to somebody who's going to try to convince you not to get it. Like you have to like.
Oh, that's like to make sure you're like
Yeah.
sound mind of like
I
you
mean,
really
not
want to
even
do
that.
this.
They're just trying to shame you. They're showing
Yeah.
you a picture of a baby you know you have or a fetus. You know what I mean? They're showing you it. That was a good slip for the Republicans watching. Okay,
I mean,
it a
I
baby.
do think
but
it's
like
a baby.
they're like fucking
I do
look
think
at
the
it.
fetus
You know what I
is
mean?
a baby, right? In my opinion, like I think the fact that it grows into a baby means that it's a baby. Once I think things start to, I don't know. At some point, it's a baby. Somewhere in the beginning too. I don't
mean-
think it's the third trimester either. I think.
Do you
it's-
remember being in the
but I'm
womb?
okay with women killing babies because it's their body. It's inside. If a baby,
I say kill them after they're born. I'm with that, dude.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
Louis has that good joke about it where he's like, I think it's a baby and I think they're allowed to kill it. He's like, because that's women's job.
Yeah.
They kill the babies and pick men. If they need to kill
Yeah.
a baby, they are the ones that have to kill the baby.
Yeah, that's
And I
their
mean, yeah, that's
their burden.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and I think it's weird because it's like, there's not a lot of people who are against the death penalty and against abortion. Most people are either, if they're against abortion, they're pro-death penalty. If they're pro-abortion, they're against the death penalty.
Yeah,
I'm pro-abortion, and I would be pro-death penalty, but I just don't trust the government to kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know innocent people have been killed in the past, which means some innocent people are going to get killed in the future, and I'm not okay with that because I just don't trust the government. If I could pick, if it was me, and I saw the evidence in front of me, and this guy was for sure a child rapist and killer, whatever, yeah, I would fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Let's bleep out the R word.
Yeah, people fucking like
was the R
love the punishment aspect of the whole system. I was watching this one fucking video where it was a high-speed chase and the cop did a pit maneuver and it ran the guy off the road and this car hit a bank and it flew and both the drivers died. So the cop killed him. And everybody in the comments is like, oh, good, I'm glad he died. He shouldn't have been doing that. And it's like, wait, so like,
That's crazy.
because he was driving fast, endangering lives, I'll give it to you. But it's like he's deserving of dying. And it's this whole thing where they're like, well, once you're in that position, it's like, well, let's think about what gets you in that position.
A little bit, because it's like, if he is endangering other people's lives, then let the cop kill him and in the car real quick and not risk anybody else on the road anymore.
But even that idea is still less than the idea of being like, you deserved it. And like this big appeal to this inherent good and evil that like, I don't realize how many people, especially deeply religious people, think there's a battle of good and evil being waged
Spiritual warfare.
tangibly every day that they are a part of a fight against. And then when they see a guy whose life has been fucked, no good role models, gets himself into a bad situation. God knows what's happened the first, the days before this has happened. Now he's in a high-speed chase. Now he dies. And they're like, good, that's a win for good. And it's like, is it? That like this guy was thrown away probably by the system he was born into, chances are, you know what I mean? Like, and now he gets killed by the very same system. That's like awesome.
I've had this argument with my Christian friends throughout my whole life, like even when I was like a teenager and stuff, because I grew up in Orange County, a lot of very Christian friends, and I would say to them, because they would always be like, Christ is the path to heaven, blah, blah, blah. And I would say, so like, what about like an Afghan kid living under the Taliban, surrounded by nothing but goats and other Muslims, and never learned about Christ? Or if he did, he learned about it through Islam, because they believe in Christ too, but learned about it as another prophet, not the prophet, the path to heaven. And so that kid, because he grew up where he did, doesn't get to go to heaven, even if he's a good kid.
Yeah.
But like a Christian who's a piece of shit but believes that his sins are forgiven because of Christ, gets to go to heaven. Like, that does that seem like a just God would do that?
Yeah. Hitler was atheist.
Well, no, I'm saying everybody says that he repented at the end of his life.
Oh,
and
he did.
went to
How would they
heaven.
know that?
I was thinking about if heaven's real.
Were they in Argentina?
Damn, I was actually. It was not fun. He was not good to hang out with. I was thinking, like, if heaven is real, I feel like there wouldn't be a hell and just everybody would go and you would just all be just, like, out of your material bodies. So, like, Hitler would be there, and in a good, perfect world, like, you'd be excited to see Hitler because you'd be like, you made it. We all understand each other now. It's eternal love that we're tapping into. All sins are forgiven. We're all here. In like a perfect heaven.
Well, that goes
like,
back to that punishment thing. People want to believe that you're going to burn in hell for the bad things you did. It's like, people love that iron fist shit. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think the odds that there's anything after this life are pretty low. But if there is something dope like heaven, then there's probably the equal opposite, something awful like hell.
but we're thinking of life
and
in
Hitler should be
terms
in
of
hell.
good and bad. It's like, is there really on like a cosmic level, outside of our material, outside of our bodies, is there
It's an interesting question. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
don't know.
it wouldn't even necessarily be a place of good, but like if there were to be another place after this, it would just be another place, not good or bad, and we just wouldn't be in our bodies with like our material worries.
Because
And
good and bad is
genetics
a
that
human
fuck us up.
emotion too.
Because that would mean like if there's a heaven, a soul exists, I think, and then we'd exist as souls in a soul space.
But if we exist as souls in a soul space, don't you think that if there is this other space, that there would be a space for the good souls and a space for the souls that tortured millions of Jews? You don't think you think that if there is something beyond this life, you don't think that there's repercussions to the life you live on this life?
No, I feel like you would just enter into just like a state of like pure understanding.
like
out
those chambers.
Everybody just
flotation
dies and
tank.
starts understanding what. I don't know.
I mean, but I don't know. It depends on like, I guess a god would have to create the heaven, so it's what that god is into. And if God exists, then I guess there would definitely be like
Reincarnation, I
But-
like the vibe of, because it's like, oh, if you were a piece of shit, you come back as like a shittier animal, and you like go backwards, and then
Yeah.
you work your
But
way back
so
up.
that's the other thing is we are thinking of good and bad in a very human context, right? Like murder, whatever this thing is. There are lions out there that have killed whatever amount of gazelles. That's bad, right? If you look at it in a human context, you can't murder another thing.
No,
But it's
I
like
mean-
wild.
I mean,
it's beyond human law.
Humans are
It's
okay
like-
with killing animals to eat, right?
Yeah, I mean, to eat.
Other than Indians, like who are
no, I
against
mean
it.
I'm just trying to figure out like an example of like I'm trying to lean towards more of like that afterlife would be this sort of like flotation tank where we are outside of ego, outside of all that stuff is very human. But if we were just like an ethereal color floating around in space, I don't know if the rules of human Earth apply to an afterlife anymore. Or like this, like, oh, you're in trouble because you killed this guy. Well, my dad beat me, or whatever the fuck. So where does that
Yeah, you're gonna judge me
outside
for
of your brain and everything and all that?
right? Where does that go into the
Can we
consideration?
float around as nothing
Yeah.
and all be in the same space? I don't. This
Yeah,
is all-
like-
am I high? What the fuck?
Yeah, if there's some sort of judgment at the end of our lives,
And judgment, I think, is very human.
Yeah.
It's a
It
human
just-
emotion.
Yeah, it seems like a hell would be a sign of a stupid God because God would make us fallible, mortal, human, impossible to be perfect, which would then open the door to literally anything happening. So it's like you're just now it's just a chaotic emergence. It's not like anything. It's just everything is going to happen. Every variation that could happen is going to happen. And then you're just going to punish the bad ones. Like they're just a result of the simulation you just set up. It's like at this point, it's like you're punishing people. It's like you allowed them to all be fallible.
leads the question: is this all a simulation?
So it's like a test. I mean,
well, I just want to stop and say my new band is called Chaotic Immersion.
Hell yeah, dude! I
that's
like
the
that.
sickest band name possible.
Yeah, I like
because
that.
it lets
Very
people
good.
know what the fuck is going on.
That's right.
But also that maybe
My
you
new
can't
band's
know.
name is the Scorch Tapes.
Oh, you're not gonna go with the Chromosomes?
I'm down to do chromosomes too.
Oh, now he's saying it right. He said
Did I say it
zomes.
right this time? I thought I said zomes.
At least you don't say
Chromosome?
methamphetamines
Did I say
like
zone
Saul.
the first chromosome? Zone is right or zome is right?
I think it's Zome, right?
Zome is right.
Chromosome.
Okay, I still don't know.
And I dropped out of high school, ladies and gentlemen. You hear this? These guys were in speech and debate.
Are there any
Do you
punk
say
bands?
nuclear? Okay,
Are there any punk bands with Down syndrome?
nuclear.
I don't know. That's a very good question.
I mean, with
If
the
only there
Bands
was a
with Down
device.
syndrome.
I'm sure there are like musicians.
System of a Down syndrome.
Very, very, yes. Great.
or
Classic.
chromosomes. I mean, just say there's a lot of names already
What
there.
is it? What is it?
So there is. Good.
I can't even
I mean,
say that.
they're-
That's like
Yeah.
Hormoz
You go on
language. wouldn't
Instagram,
it?
there's a lot of people with Down syndrome cooking and they're doing everything. So it's like, how are there not bands?
You know what? This is interesting because one day we were watching Love on the Spectrum, and there was like a Down syndrome girl on it, and I realized how little I know about Down syndrome, and
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
went to I started looking it up. There is also like a spectrum of it, and they're not as like unaware of things as maybe like
Some are
people would
super high
think
functioning,
or whatever.
like the actor from,
there,
like,
there
this-
is like there's it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm sure like when now on Instagram when you see people cooking and you're like, it's
Yeah.
good because you're like, oh, it isn't what all these people thought it
Yeah.
was for all these years that they were just like incapable of. Or there was that campaign floating around one time like it was like a bartender giving like a drink to
Yeah.
someone and they were like what you think I can't like I don't know. It's just there's a lot of
they can have
misinformation.
some.
I
They can
think,
have
about.
some brews.
They can have some fun.
Yeah,
They
I
can
mean,
have a band.
Not to sound overly optimistic, because there's obviously a lot of horrific.
They can help
jokes.
you move. They're very strong.
Yeah, whole moving companies of them. Mm-hmm. But they
They
can't
work
go
in
up the-
warehouses at like every big box store.
But yeah, like on
They get
Instagram,
jobs. That's what my yeah.
there's a lot of horrible jokes about people with disabilities. But there's also an aspect where it's like you see people with Down syndrome or whatever,
Down
like
syndrome
doing
people
tons
rule.
of shit, and you're like, oh, everybody's really wrong about this
Yeah.
whole thing. Like
Yeah.
these guys are making burnt ends.
Yeah.
Like these guys are better cooks than me.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like,
And
you
they're so
realize how much
fun
of
and
a
happy.
bigot
I mean,
you
I'm
are.
sure it's a spectrum. I'm sure
I
some
bet
have
they
it really
graduated
bad.
high school. Maybe did speech and debate.
Tons
Unlike
of
me.
them.
But I've
People
met
with
so
Down
many
syndrome go to
just doing
college,
comedy. I've met so many Down syndrome kids who just love stand up
Yeah.
and are just the biggest fans of stand up. And they would come to the store and we'd always get them like, a good seat.
Yeah.
And then they would want to meet like Theo or they'd want to meet.
Fuck yeah.
And comics love meeting Down syndrome fans because
Yeah.
they're like the sweetest, cutest
Genuine.
fans.
They
Genuine.
actually give a fuck.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and yeah. And then it's like Shane, I think, kind of, Gillis in his special, kind of like his whole thing that was dope is like, he kind of like presents this image of his Down syndrome family as like super fun to be around.
Yes.
And not sad at all.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Shane.
But yeah, that's what's so fucked up about like most like pity that people feel.
Yeah.
Is they don't realize like how just like exclusionary it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
where they're just like, oh, like they're just saddened by it.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the worst thing you can do. Like even last night I was telling a joke about suicide and it's like people will the way it's so funny, you'll talk about suicide and people are like, oh, don't talk about that. It's sad. It's like, well, just that's you. It's sad to you. You just don't want to hear about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
you know how fucked up it is that like, whether it's like Down syndrome or anything going on when somebody talks about it and you're like, I don't want to hear about that. It's like,
Yeah.
you just want your
You
life
want-
to
yeah.
be fucking nice.
Yeah.
Like this is a real thing that happens. You should
Yeah.
be able to talk about real things that happen. It's so
Yeah.
fucked up
Those
of you to
people
act like
also
you care.
ignore those-
You care too much to
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, I saw a video of Amir Kays
No.
where he was like, because he has like a large Iranian population of followers and stuff too. So it's like maybe 20% of the audience is Persian, and this Persian lady, the audacity to yell out like, "Do Persian jokes," and he's like, and it was so funny because he's like, "Bitch, do you not see all these white people?
Yeah.
Do you not? You don't care about these people at all, huh? You don't see like that I need to make everybody." And it was so funny.
Yeah, man. I've my mom's in a wheelchair and sometimes we'll go out and like when people are talking to us, they'll like talk to me like she can't fucking hear or talk. And I think that that's like another misunderstanding that like just because you're disabled or you're in a chair or whatever,
Right.
like that
Like,
you can't, you don't
yeah.
understand
She can't talk.
English.
Yeah, she's so
like,
far down there.
yeah. Sometimes she'll just be like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's like, fuck.
I
but-
saw this shit. There was a comic who was a little person at the store, and I saw another comic.
Renee Lancaster.
I saw another comic.
Shout
like
out
the-
to Renee, dude. He made an amazing fucking.
Yeah, the trailer was
project,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard that was good. It was Brad Williams. And I just say that because he's a
Yeah.
successful
Yeah,
comic.
Yeah, he's great.
And the comic talking to them was not a successful comic and wanted to be like friends with them. But when they talked to Brad, they literally took a knee
Oh,
in front of Brad,
man.
and it's like, dude, Brad talks to people
Wait,
standing.
so Colin
every,
Kaepernick does stand up now?
yeah. They call him Kaepernick. They
Okay.
truly. They,
That's so funny.
but for the wrong cause.
did,
this
did
time,
Brad say that he would marry them?
yeah. He accepted. He accepted. But it
I
was so
do.
crazy because it's like, do you realize that action is you're just showing them like I'm coming down. Like,
Yeah,
it's actually very
yeah.
rude. Like let me just get down to your fucked up.
Hey
weird
there,
level.
little guy.
Yeah,
like,
like,
shit like that.
I bet a lot of people don't do this for you. He's like, of course, fucking not. People don't kneel
Why
when
would they?
That would be
Yeah.
insane.
Fucking hell, man.
Dude, Brad is such a monster, dude. I've never had to follow him, but
Yeah.
It would be
but it'd be-
impossible. He murders.
yeah, he murders. I want to try. I want to see what it feels like.
Yeah.
To go up after somebody, to go up
Man.
after a little person who's got really good material like that. Like, it's just the room is just completely annihilated, and I'd
Man.
like to see how bad I do.
Yeah.
You just go up and you're just really negative about it. You're just
I
like,
mean,
"Oh,
I've talked to comics about how to deal with that situation. I'd like to. That's a great thing about the store is like comics at our level get that occasionally.
Yeah.
Based on what happens.
Well, not even just like with somebody who's a little person, but just any comic that has like such a defined character and gets the entire crowd on with that character. Anyone
Yeah.
that comes up after, they're just like, well,
Yeah.
this is just a guy.
So my
They're
wife-
not the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do we? Yeah, we don't care about your fucking
You
wife.
know, we found that with the like back in the day when we would tour with Kill Tony, we used to do the Kill Tony and then a stand-up show after, and the stand-up shows would suffer because you can't follow magic, like the magic of the bucket pool of what's happening.
Yeah.
So then eventually we like flipped it, but it's that it's like you can't recreate
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, go.
No, I was just talking because I've talked to Chappelle Lacey about it. He's like, he'll just think of a line. If you can come out with the line about maybe referencing that thing or whatever to reset the energy, the audience will reset,
Yeah.
and then now they will listen to you. But
Jesus told me, like, when he's had to follow, like, Rock or Chappelle or somebody, like, just the room is annihilated
Yeah.
and they're excited about what they just saw.
Yeah.
He said he just tries to control the conversation about what just happened. So he'll just be like, dude, you guys didn't think you were going to see a midget be that funny tonight, huh? Like, how's anybody going to follow that? And then you go like,
Yeah.
oh, what did, huh? Like, oh, you never thought about fucking a midget before. And you just like start talking to them about how good Brad did.
Yeah.
Or how good, how amazing it was that Chappelle showed up.
yeah,
Like, this is surreal, blah, blah, blah. And you lead that conversation until they're done talking about it.
instead of going, I'm fucked, you go, aren't we so lucky? Like,
Yeah.
I'm lucky. Oh my God.
And
Yeah,
you just talk to them about what we all just went through.
You go up after Chappelle and you go, that sucked. Didn't that suck fucking dick?
God, now I'm going to bomb. Now
I had to
I'm-
wait so long to get on stage. He bumped me. Just act really
I had to
angry.
follow Chappelle. I'm like Key and Peele.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, that's the blessing of the store is like sometimes we will maybe get that opportunity.
Yeah,
It's pretty dope.
man.
Yeah, we didn't talk about you getting your bag stolen, but I'm sorry about that. Whoever
Yeah.
that piece of shit woman is who's stealing shit at the store,
That's
we're gonna
who-
catch you and we're gonna murder you.
It
right,
was
Joel?
a couple.
Nope.
Okay,
Hormoz is going to catch you.
we're gonna
and then
catch
murder
you, and we're gonna beat you to the brink of life, but we're gonna let you live, right, Joel?
No.
We're not gonna let you live, Joel.
No.
Just agree.
Wait, what?
We're not. Joel doesn't want
No,
to let
I don't
you live.
agree with any of this.
I mean, you
You
agreed
stole
to it.
Joel's sweater.
Yeah.
You stole Cooper's cool ass satchel bag.
Well, no, mine was a couple. And I want to make that point because couples who steal together are the
Yours was
so
a couple?
funny to me because it's like both of you suck.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
They deserve
Like,
each other.
There's not like one of you that's
Both
like
of you
chilling
suck.
shit
Okay,
out. You're
we're gonna
working
kill
together.
the guy, and we're gonna have the wife watch him
Hormoz,
die,
Hormoz,
and then
stop.
she's gonna have to live her
Yeah.
life knowing that
okay.
it's because of her actions that her love died.
That wasn't so bad.
It's not a big deal.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else with that.
Drew, shut the fuck up. Just kidding.
We're gonna dig a hole in the desert, and then you can do whatever you want to them in the hole, and then they're already in the hole.
Okay.
And like, what's fun is like you don't have to leave them dead, but like close to it.
Yeah.
But you let them feel it.
I say
and
what
then,
we do
you know,
is we
whatever.
wrap them in wet rawhide. We do it like at night, like maybe around like right before sunrise. We drill a hole in their head, and as the sun comes out, the rawhide tightens and it squeezes their shit
Like
out
a
of their
Go-Gurt.
body. Yeah.
like a go-gurt.
Yeah.
I've never truly been worried about your mental health until right now.
Yeah.
What?
That was creative.
That was
Well, I've heard about it. I think
Who's
people
thought about this before?
people have done
this
that.
wasn't the first time.
My
you-
mom had told me, you know what they used to do? They used to do this. Someone else. said-
So
my
well, that's a
God.
thing that works.
I think people had done it.
It
Yeah.
sounded so cartoonish. It sounds like how you try and kill Bugs Bunny or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, let's try it on Bugs Bunny. If it works on him, it'll work on people.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's what Wile E. Coyote wanted to do with that damn Roadrunner.
Fucking that would be a really funny end to that cartoon series. Is like
Right.
an 18-hour episode of just him
Sopranos.
in a shack.
Yeah.
Just like fucking putting up a car battery on his
Yeah, tinkering. Yeah.
waterboarding him somehow. I don't know how
Dude,
you
I
waterboard
met
the Roadrunner.
one of the guys.
You met the
who-
Roadrunner?
I was just
I
gonna
met, no. I met one
No.
of the guys who was tortured with electricity at Abu Ghraib.
Really?
And yeah, this was at Berkeley. Like after he got released in like 2004, 2005, because a lot of people were tortured, were innocent, had
Yeah.
nothing to do with it, were
Whoa.
released, moved to the States, and are like professors and stuff.
And are fucked
and are
up.
fucked. And,
Yeah.
and they
Be
tell and they
starstruck.
come and talk about different human rights violations and stuff. And it's like it is fucking crazy to think about the fact that just I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Not-
Yeah, that you're saying- you're like
you
somebody-
dehumanize people After 9/11, you know, Muslims not humans like us, and you'll do anything to them
Fuck,
yeah.
Yeah, I was.
So that and we don't have time for this full conversation, but real quick, Israel or Pakistan? Everybody knows I'm Pakistan.
Yeah.
You know what though? Real quick, can I say something?
yeah.
Stop. And then no. I was just thinking of like, you know how people like think places are haunted.
Yeah.
I think what it really is
Israel's
like
haunted.
No. I think what it
If
is
anyone's
like
haunted, Jerusalem's haunted.
the
I've
thought.
heard there's a story of a
the
ghost.
thought
there.
of what happened in that place. So I was just thinking when that guy who was tortured, you're talking to him.
Yeah.
That conversation is haunted by this thing that has happened, and I think that that's what we feel when we feel some sort of thing in like a place. We're actually just like thinking about the things we know happened.
Right.
I'm dumb. Anyway.
No, maybe.
No, I mean,
maybe.
obviously, yeah. If you walk into Abu Ghraib,
But I
the
just when
vibes
I'm
are off.
talking to that guy,
Yeah.
the vibes are off.
The vibes
You
are
think
off.
so?
in
Depends
Abu,
what kind of
in
vibes you're looking
in Abu
for.
Ghraib.
Yeah, dude.
I think it was off. I think even the people who committed those acts of torture.
Would you die on that hill?
That
it
the
was-
vibes were off
Yeah.
in the military prison. I would.
Yeah.
I'll go for it. I mean,
Okay.
not to sound like a libtard or
Dude,
anything.
yeah,
But I do think
yeah.
Abu was a bad vibe.
Abu was the monkey in
I was
Aladdin.
never
which,
in favor of the
he
Iraq
met him
War.
too.
The problem with Abu.
I always thought it wasn't trill at all. I remember telling people
Yeah.
it
It
wasn't
was never
trill.
trill.
Yeah,
I
it
remember
wasn't
saying-
hyphy at all.
Dude, the Iraq War was not hyphy even
Yeah.
a little bit. Nobody from this nation was in favor of the Iraq War.
Do you think that when 9/11 happened, though, the people that did it thought it was popping?
Motherfuckers did think it was
Yeah,
Bob.
no,
Thought
no,
it was
no, no.
popping.
I mean,
For sure. Did you see the way
Yeah.
they were partying in the Middle East? Dude?
No
They-
cap?
they were- no cap.
No
they-
turban?
No term.
no cap.
No
On
term.
everything.
Dude, no term.
No, I mean, they put in pain in Iraq for real.
Yeah,
Motherfuckers called John Mearsheimer whack when he wasn't hyped on
Really?
the Iraq War.
Dude,
'Cause
they
he didn't think it
bombed
was hype.
innocent people trying to murder Saddam when you gave him those chemical weapons to go to war with Iran. This
Yeah.
is the information that they hold back from Peter Jennings.
They were
Because
trying to say-
Condoleezza Rice is just a new age Sally Hemings.
What the? Is that a Kendrick?
He's
Like, is that a
freestyling.
J.
It's
Cole?
Immortal Technique.
Of course it is.
Dude, I love
God,
Immortal Technique
God.
so much.
Spitting knowledge from his brain.
Dude, Immortal Technique. Revolutionary Volume 2.
I think
So
Devin
good.
Costa used to do a joke about how he would like show up to high school parties and just ruin it because he'd want to put on Immortal Technique. Yeah.
That's sick.
He just puts on a song about raping his mom.
Some shit.
Yeah,
Wait, is that
I
what
hate
the
that
song is about?
No,
Yeah.
it's off the first album, and it's like he to join this gang, he has to rape this chick, and then at the end he sees that it was his mom that he raped.
Oh, but he didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't know.
He didn't know.
Ah, it's not
Kamala's
as
been
bad.
walking out to
No, I'm
that.
just kidding. That's awful.
Who else?
All right.
Kamala. It's a long song, and she lets it play.
She's like, no,
Well,
no,
she's
no,
a slow walker.
Listen to it.
And then she walks out and she's like, that shit happens. That shit fucking happens. Do you know that? Do you know that shit happens?
That's so funny.
Fuck, man. Wow. Well,
All right,
this was an episode.
this was an episode.
I apologize for anything I may have said that was too crazy. And if you found it funny and not offensive, then it was totally me and I meant it the whole time. Cooper, thanks for doing this.
Thanks
was
for
fun.
doing this.
This was a
Thanks
very
for
different
having me.
conversation.
Where can
than
they
we're
find
used to.
you?
On at Cooper Lyden on most social media, Cooper Lyden on YouTube, Cooper Lyden comedy special releasing September 25th, I think.
Really?
Hell yeah.
So that's coming up.
Cooper is Alone podcast?
That's still going.
Yeah,
And the Dag
the
Nabbit
Dag
Boys,
Nabbit Boys.
with Shane Bianchi.
Hell yeah.
That's the more fun one. I would watch that.
Shane, new door guy.
Shane, new door guy at the Comedy
Yeah.
Store. We're both LA
Good one of the
comedy
week.
certified.
Good one of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was going to have you pick another good one. We always pick a white person that's a good one of the week.
Like, okay.
I'll take Shane.
Like somebody who's kind of crushed it this week.
Just whoever you,
Any
for whatever
white
you
guy
think,
you
just a
want.
white guy who is, your white guy of the
You
week.
can pick yourself. You can be like, I'm doing good.
We'll do Putin.
Okay.
Putin.
Because he endorsed Kamala.
Did he really?
Yeah, because he's a lib.
Wow.
And because he cares about change and progress.
Mine is,
So
I'm
give
gonna,
it up for that. Really
Wow.
cool of him because he.
Hell yeah, Putin.
Yeah, he wants to see a woman of color in office in America. He thinks he's had enough, and it's about damn time. That's why he said it.
Oh.
Well, on a lighter note, I'm going to go with Beetlejuice.
All right.
Not the Howard Stern one, the actual Beetlejuice.
That's Putin's nickname.
Was it good?
That's what
Did
they
you
call
watch
him.
it?
They
Yeah.
call him Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Did you see the movie?
Yeah, I saw both.
Good?
We went to the Beetlejuice experience today. It was sick as fuck.
It was great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I live the Beetlejuice experience.
I know you do, dude. That's what I love about
I'm
you.
just showing
What's
up
your
in
handle,
people's
Joel?
houses.
My handle is Joel Jimenez Comedy. I will be all over the place coming soon. I'm starting to take these headlining gigs now, even though
Hell
I'm
yeah.
terrified of them.
Hell yeah, dog.
It's gonna be great.
Hell yeah. And your band too?
Yeah.
Mad Peaceful. When's the next performance?
October 18th, 19th, 20th. We're playing. Just go to Mad Peaceful Band on
Hell yeah.
Instagram. Come see us.
Hell yeah. And follow me at Not Hormones on social media. I have a new page because I was like shadow banned on that page. So I have another page, Hormoz Comedy, too.
Instagram?
On Instagram.
Oh, I gotta
follow
follow
me there. I'll be in Edmonton October 22nd to the 26th. And yeah, comedy dating show every month. Next one's going to be next week. Dirty at 10:30 every month. First Wednesday of the month. Dude, thank you for
Yeah.
being here.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot
So
of fun.
fun. Hell yeah. Follow Saul.
Next episode, we're gonna do a debate about whether or not Cooper was a good guest or not.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
hell
think
yeah.
I beefed it. I think last
I'm gonna
30
go
minutes
pro
I got
Cooper.
too high
I'll
and
go
really hit the
anti-Cooper.
brakes.
No, it's gonna be great.
I'll go ahead.
All right, everybody, I'm Saul. Thank you for watching Browntown Cagones.
Peace. Hell yeah.